What's up guys, Callum from Westwood Table Soccer here and welcome back to the channel. Welcome to the series finale, the final episode of the Painting Academy Series 1, Feyenoord 1958 to 59. Before we go any further, I had a little word with our sponsors at Santiago, and if this is the first video you've come across for this series, or if you've just been following along but you haven't yet, perfect opportunity for you, because from today, which is the 7th of February 2021 until midnight or 23:59 on the 14th of February 2021, we are now discounting the bases, the discs, the figures, the box, the goalkeeper. We are discounting it again for 7 days. A flash discount for the end of the series. They're going to be available for just £8.50. The link is down in the description. If you don't know how to do the description of this video, what you need to do is just minimize it down. There'll be a little thing with a title on it, and there'll be something down there that says show more. Click on the show more, because the show more will not only show you the link for that discount, it will also show you all the links for all the kit that we use in here, for the Facebook groups, for everything. In this final episode, we are going to be covering those finishing touches. The hair, we're going to cover the boots. I'm going to make a mistake and I'm going to fix it. I'm going to make another mistake and we're going to fix it. So I'm going to make 2 mistakes in this episode. I'm going to show you how to fix them. They're nice and easy. They're very common mistakes to make. It happens quite a lot. We are also going to show you how to put your box sticker on. If you bought a box sticker, or if you haven't already, I've got something a little bit special that we'll hopefully be able to get to you guys as well. So we've got a whole lot of things to cover in this episode. A load of cool little things to cover. The finishing touches. We're going to see now what this team looks like after all these episodes, all these weeks. It's been amazing. Before we run this next bit of footage and before we run the tutorial from this episode, thank you so much for getting involved in this. Thanks for all the tweets, all the emails, all the messages with all of your teams in them. Please, please, please keep them coming. And also, and I know I'm going to mention this later on in the video, get them over onto Santiago's Facebook group too, because he would like to see these finished pieces and put them on there and showcase your guys' work. So, that's enough of an intro. Let's get this lesson started. Okay, first things first, getting myself set up prep-wise. This is the only part of the figure that I will paint not in the base. So the first thing I want to do is just get my guys out of their bases. Again, another reason why we don't jump ahead and start gluing things in. I will show you guys how to glue. I'm going to weight my figures as well. So I will show you guys how to do that. You know, it's a bit basic way of weighting it. It's not getting any new washes or anything, although I'm sure you can do that. But yeah, so what I want to do is get these guys out of their bases, get my keeper out of his rod here, and just get him really gently placed in here, because I don't want this blue tack to be getting in my way. So I don't want it to be too much blue tack in and around where his feet are. So that's the first thing you're going to want to do, is just get those bases out of the way, but keep them handy, because as soon as I've painted the boots, they're going to get put straight back into their base. Alright, so let's crack on then with getting these boots on. Now, as I said, we are using 234. You could use 160 if you had it. You could even use 98, but it's a dark brown, and I want to use a light brown because I think they look just quintessentially classic. So we're going to be going with the 234. So what we need is a fairly flat brush setup, okay? And all we're going to be looking to do is just follow that black line around on his boots with the flat edge of our brush. The reason we use flat brush for this setup is so that we can be as clean and as straight as possible. Coming around the back here, nice and simple. Just want to come around, just getting the paint on, being as neat as possible so that we don't take up any of our boot with it, because it's a light colour as well, it will look funny. But that is as simple as it gets. It's a very easy last step, but it does, and you'll see in a minute how quickly the team just feels complete when you add the boots and then you add the hair on at the end. Really, really careful around here, making sure to get the entire boot painted all the way down to the bottom and all the way around the top of the sock there, or the bottom of the sock with the top of the boot. Just looking to come round, and there we have a lovely pair of boots. The only thing you may want to do is on the figure's right foot, it's got a little bit of an arched angle, so all you might want to do is just put a little bit of paint along there so that when he's sat on his base you won't see white plastic. And then all I do, I'll just get one in shot so that you guys will be able to see it. All I do is I just put him back in his base. I don't want to push him right down, he might drop, but I don't want to push him right in for now. I just want to sit him back in there, put him off over here to one side. Let's show you guys one more. So coming round, a nice flat brush setup. Start as always somewhere fairly safe, and then just start to spread that paint and spread that flat edge around our figure as we can, trying to come all the way down. Don't want to get paint in the bar, something that Subbuteo figures, proper Subbuteo figures are pretty famous for, is having paint on the bars. We don't want that, so we're going to come around. Don't want to have too much paint on the brush, you can always add more if you need to. And then just nice and easy come around there. Come on now to our angled boot. Coming up, following that line of that sock. Round into here, coming up from round, nice and simple, over the top there. And we're going to come in onto like so, and then as we did with the last one, in on there into his base. Let's show you guys one more then while we're here. So we've got a second figure here. We're going to come in, we want a nice flat brush setup, okay, flat and smooth as you can get it. A little bit of paint, start somewhere nice and easy where there's less danger of making mistakes. And this is another area where that figure prep that we did all the way back in episode 1 is going to be really, really vital, because if you had a lot of the ridge line left on the boot, then you would have a few issues here when it came to painting them. You want to come around onto the angled shoe or the angled boot. A little bit easier to paint the angled one because it just gives you a little bit more space and a nice angle to get round. And we can come round now and just finish this guy's boots off. And once again, as we mentioned before, what you might want to do is just in here, just come across underneath there like that, and then once again get the base, get your figure, just gently get him in there, just rest him in so that he's done. So what we'll do is we'll time lapse our way through the rest of these, and then we'll get on to the goalkeeper at the end. Okay, perfect. Every single boot of the outfield players is now done. Now there's a couple that you would have seen me in there where we actually got a little bit of paint on our bar in classic Subbuteo heavyweight style. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to move the guys out the way that don't have that issue, because I guarantee you this will happen to some of you as you're doing it. It's not an easy thing to do, to miss the bar. I I was rushing through mine, to be fair, trying to get them quick. You'd think that's not computer technology that makes me go that quick. That's actually me painting that fast. So what we're going to do with this is we're going to get our little friend, the craft knife, back out. It's a very, very easy fix to do this. So what I'm going to do, take my figure here to make sure I'm in shot with you guys. I'm just going to get my knife very gently across the top of his bar. That was easy. Same here, bring it into there, across the top of his bar. Easy as that. Nice quick fix. Now he doesn't have paint on his bar. Kaboom! Done and dusted. That is how you get the excess paint off of the bar. Nice and easy. And now we have 10 players. Well, actually I've got 14, so let's bring these other guys back in. We've now got 14. We've got a full squad. We've now got 14 outfield players, all with the matte 234 boots. Now personally, I love these matte 234 boots. I do use matte 234 quite a lot for boots, especially on these classic old kits. So that is what that looks like. Let's quickly just get these guys out the way, probably jump cut it. We'll quickly get these guys out the way and we'll then get started on getting the boots on this guy. Now you guys all remember that actually I've got 2 of these lovely dark green goalkeeping shirts to do. So I'll paint both. I'm only going to be using this guy because this is the proper guy for the team. But what we've got is this guy here as well. So let's just kick him out of the way. So in terms of painting the boots and stuff on the goalkeeper, it's exactly the same principle, with the exception that there's just a few other little areas that make it a little bit harder because of the bar being a bit thicker and the boots being a little bit, they look a little bit chunkier because they're not as long as the outfield players, but the principles are still exactly the same. So flat brush setup, trying to be as neat as we can to avoid going onto our bar, coming around the bottom of our boot here to try and make ourselves as clear and clean as possible, onto the front of our boot, in round onto there. It's fairly, like I say, it's simple. It's a simple job, but it is one, and it's probably the one that really will set off your whole project, your whole team, your whole painting academy experience comes to an end in series 1 pretty much with adding the boots. You'll see it just brings the kit out, finishes everything off so well. And personally, I absolutely love this colour for a pair of brown boots. Subbuteo tended to use a colour that was very similar to 160, sort of a more of a chestnutty brown colour. This is obviously, it's referred to as being dark flesh, but a lot more of a light milky brown, and I absolutely love it for these pair of boots. I think it works perfectly. But yeah, it's a little bit harder. The bit in between his legs is the hardest to get this right, but take your time with it. Little amounts of paint, and I've got a little bit there because I've got quite a build up of excess plastic here. What I'm going to do is wait for that to dry and clean that up there. You could just leave it, being honest, you probably wouldn't even notice it. It's not a big deal, but I will clean it up. I'm just going to clean up my line here as well. So there's one. So that's how you would do it on these guys, and then we'll bring in the second guy to show you guys again, because we have the luxury of having 2 goalkeepers. So here's our second one. Exactly the same principle as we said. Start somewhere inconspicuous, get yourself a bit of confidence built up with how the brush is behaving, how the paint's flowing. Just follow them lines round. You've got a nice frame to work in between now, because you've obviously got the sock line from the bottom of the socks as well to be used as a guide as to where your paint needs to go. The only issue you've got is just trying to make sure that you keep it off of that bar as best you can. But as I showed you earlier on with the outfield players, it's not a massively difficult thing to clean off. And as I said, you could, if you wanted to, as I mentioned earlier in the video, you can do black boots on black socks, but you just need to shift the tone in the black. The shade in the black needs to change slightly to make it work, else it just looks like a continuation of a pair of socks. I don't like it. I don't use black on black that often, but it can be done, and like I said, I did make a whole video about it for you guys, which I've put up a couple of times on screen in the little eye bubbles, but we will also have it in the description if you guys want to have a look at it at the end of the video rather than clicking away from this one. If you haven't yet, please click that subscribe button in the bottom. The logo, the Westwood Table Soccer logo that you see at the bottom of the screen, is also a subscribe button. So if you haven't yet, please get yourself subscribed. So here we go. 2 goalkeepers, both with the same colour boots. They're exactly the same. That is how you put your boots onto your goalkeeper. So now the next step. Okay, it is that time of the series. In this final episode, we're going to be showing you guys the finishing touches. Now that includes adding the hair and the boots. Another thing you may have noticed already in this little bit of video is that this little bad boy here has now got the custom sticker on it from Subbuteo World. I'm going to show you how to get that on later in the video. In front of me as well is also the 4 extra figures that we've painted for this series that have all now got different hair colours on. So I paint my figures in multiple hair colours, as you guys know. The boots for this team are all going to be the same colour, and for this team, because they have black socks, we are going to be using matte 234. Now I do have a video on the channel if you wanted to go with black boots, okay? If you want to go with black boots on the black socks, I do have a video on the channel that will show you how to do that, but it does require having white paint, not white acrylic, okay? So if you want to do the black boots with the black socks, you're going to need matte enamel white paint to do so. So in this episode, I'm only going to show you how to do them in 234, but the way that you paint them is exactly the same. We're also going to be mixing our hair colors up. Now again, you guys don't have to do that. If you have the paints available and you can do that, then crack on. For this episode, we definitely have 234 if you mix skin tones. You may have 98 if you mix skin tones, and you will have 33 if you mixed skin tones. So potentially you've got scope to have 3 different hair colors, which would just eliminate our little blonde fella here. So 234 comes out looking like this. This is okay. So that is what 234 comes out like on a Subbuteo figure for a hair color. It's a light brown, really nice color. We've also got matte 98 here, which is what our friend here has got. So he's got a 234 skin tone and a matte 98 hair color, and we've also got the matte 98 skin tone with the matte black 33 hair color on here. So those are the 3 hair color options that you guys may have. In this episode, you will see me paint at least one of the players blonde. Now if you're interested to know what color that is, it is matte 74. I literally only ever use this paint for blonde hair. I don't really have any other uses for it. It's not something I use that much, but matte 74 will give you blonde hair. You will also see me in this episode use a matte 160, which is a bit more of a chestnut color, and I'll show you that as we come on to do it. But as you can see from this little selection in front of us here, you will be more than cracking on with some great variety in this team with just the 3 colors that we bought at the start. So enough chit chat for me. Let's show you guys how we did this then. Just quickly, this is how I set up my figures for their hair colors. They're laid out in the colors they're going to be. So what we've got at the back here, these guys are going to be matte 33s. These guys here are going to have matte 98. These guys we're going to go with a 160. Now if you don't have a 160, then these guys would all have the matte 98. We have a couple of guys down here with a 234 light brown, and then our final figure is going to be the blonde 74. So how you guys arrange your figures and how you guys decide to paint them is entirely your call. You might choose to do them all the same as Subbuteo would have done. If you've got the mixed skin tones, then you may change the hair colors to suit, which is what we do here, but I just wanted to show you guys this is how we're set up. The 234 is still out, so I'm going to do these two guys here as the first two, and then we're going to come through the rest of the paints. Alright, let's go then. 2, 3, 4 hairstyles. Now, hair is pretty simple job. These last finishing touch jobs are fairly simple. Now you notice I've actually got a little bit of overpaint of skin here, so I'm going to use that to create that sort of classic side parting. I'm going to try and use that skin and just create a hairline. Obviously you guys would have left white space and stuff that you painted as skin, so all you're really looking to do is just fill in those gaps that were white and fill them in whatever hair color you're using. So in this case, at the moment, we are using 2, 3, 4, the dark flesh tone. You're just coming around, just filling in those areas that were left as white space. It's as simple as that. It's a lot easier. There's not so much care that needs to be taken here, but obviously you don't want to be going gung-ho and throwing loads of paint on, because it will run down your figures and get in places you don't want it to be. But there's not as many areas here that you can touch on with your paint, and you can just see there we've created that classic sort of 50s Brill Cream side part in here with that extra bit of skin in there. So that's a 2, 3, 4. Let's just go on to do this second one. Oh, we left a little side part in here, and then this guy as well. So I was obviously doing, when I did these, I was obviously thinking, pre-planning ahead to do this. So just following that skin line down, filling in this white space that we've left, the final areas of white plastic that we've left, coming around the back, and you can take that hairline down as low or as high as you want it. It's entirely your decision, and it's, as are the hair colors, etc., etc., that you do here. We're just looking to just finish these players off so they're ready for their first game, their first flick of a ball. Lovely, absolutely love it. These are really, really coming together. What a team, what a great choice by you guys for the first team of the first ever Painting Academy series. So that's how you do the hair. As we said, I will show you all the other colours as well. So I'm quickly going to jump cut, we'll get the blonde hair out, then we'll jump cut again. So let's just go through to blonde hair. Okay, next colour we're going to use then is matte 74 blonde. As I said, this wasn't one that I recommend that you guys get, but if it's something you guys are painting and you ever want to use blonde hair, it is matte 74. As I said, I only use this colour for blonde hair. Mine is pretty old, so it's got a real thick to it. It's a really thick set paint. But yeah, again, the principles are the same, just filling in the white space that we left before. I do like to mix up my hair colours and my skin tones, as I said, right at the very start of the series, because it adds variation. It's more realistic, represents football teams a lot better. And for someone like myself who plays solo with these players at times, this team will represent Feyenoord over a number of generations and teams and eras and players. So that's one of the main reasons I like to vary mine up. And as I said, it just represents society and football teams in general. You know, we're all different. So there we go, a 74. Let's come on to a 160 sport. Right, so 160, again, the principle of the hair painting, guys, as I keep saying every time I change colour, I probably think of something better to say. It's exactly the same, just filling in that white space, and naturally you'll find yourself having different hairstyles because you've left different spaces. As I said, you can take further down the neckline if you want to. So if I wanted to be with this guy, we can come down really far, as if he's got like creating long hair with paint. There are other things you can use to create long hair, moulding clays and things. But so there we go, we've brought that guy's hair down pretty low, so that could sort of be representative of someone with a bit of a medium hair. and we can make some really shorter hairstyles as well. But loads of different things you can do with your hairstyles. We're just looking to fill in the gaps, to get these colours down. Just want to take this opportunity as well to thank every single one of you for getting involved on the Painting Academy. I hope you guys have learned a few things. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I know it's been difficult. It's been great to get the emails and the messages on Twitter and stuff like that, and the stuff in the Facebook group, which, guys, if you're on Facebook and you're not in the group, get on it. It's been great to receive these messages. I know that, like I said, some of you guys have found this quite difficult, which is good in a way. If it was easy, then you probably wouldn't bother, because you're like, well, this is easy, let's just crack on, I don't need to watch this. But it's been tough. It is difficult. Painting Subbuteo figures is not easy, but thank you guys so much for coming along. There is definitely going to be future series of this. Maybe give it a few weeks in between deciding what we're going to do. We'll have a little think about what kits we can do, and then we will get cracking on a season 2 for you guys. So yeah, just want to say once again, thank you guys so much for getting involved in the Academy. I hope you guys have enjoyed it. I hope you guys have learned a few things. Even those guys that are potentially model painters and things already, or had painted Subbuteo before. So as we've got now, we've got 3 different hair colours already done and dusted. We've got 234, 74, and now 160. Let's come on to 98. Okay, so for 98, this is a colour that you guys may already have. The 160 was a colour that you probably wouldn't have, especially if you only bought the paints for this series. But the 98, if you were doing your mixed skin tones, you may already have, and it works great for creating dark brown hair. So let's crack on with it. Flat brush setup, coming round, nice and clean through here. But yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, we are thinking about doing, or we are definitely going to do, a second series of this. If you've got any ideas of a team that you would like to see painted, I would say potentially a different design to this one, so not a halves kit, because if you're doing halves kits, essentially the paint is exactly the same. So yeah, if you've got any ideas, get them down in the comments below. So let me know if you've got any ideas for teams you'd like to see us do in future series. And we know how you found it. So if you've been painting along with this, let me know how you found it. Has it been, you know, is there things you want to see covered in a bit more detail? Obviously there would have been videos with more detail in them, but we had absolute technological nightmares at Westwood Table Soccer with losing pieces of video, etc. But yeah, so if there's anything you want to see covered in more detail potentially in future series, or, you know, do you want to see maybe an easier kit? Maybe you found this one really difficult and you want to see an easier kit. Maybe you want to see a kit with no badge, but the actual kit itself is a little bit special. So let me know if you've got any ideas about what we could potentially offer as an option for Series 2 and beyond. That is Matte 98. Let's come on to our final colour, Matte 33. Final hair colour then, Matte 33. Again, this is another colour that you guys will already have. It was a major part of this kit, so I know that a lot of you guys have got it. And also, just want to come out of, actually, I just sort of twigged while I've got this colour out. It's been so good for a few emails I've received from you guys that the Goalkeeper shirt variations have come out. So I've seen a yellow Goalkeeper shirt, and I've also seen a black Goalkeeper shirt used as well. So awesome that you guys have decided on your sort of own colour based on the colours that we had available. Obviously I've seen what the green comes out like, but it was so good to see what the yellow Goalkeeper shirt looked like, and I was, you know, I said it would look great, and thankfully I was proved right, because it does look great. So awesome for sending those in. Keep sending them in. I want to get your guys' final images sent through, and I know as well the sponsor of this series, Santiago, so Marcus Santiago, wants to get some of these pictures onto his Facebook group and potentially use them on the website as well. So if you guys finish these teams off, which hopefully you guys will, not only would I like you to send them to me, either via Twitter or you can send them directly through emails. All of those links are down in the description, and there is also one down there which will take you directly to Santiago Table Soccer's Facebook page. Put them in there as well. If you don't know how to get to the description, give this video a quick minimize. There'll be the title of the video, and then in the bottom right hand corner of that little area, there'll be a show more. What you want to do is click on that, and that will show you all the timestamps for the video. It will show you all of the links and things of the equipment they've used, of the paints we've used, where to get them. And in this episode, you'll also see not only the Facebook group that we've got set out specifically for this series, but you'll also see the Facebook group for Santiago Table Soccer, because he has said to me that he would really love to see what you guys have produced using his equipment, obviously, and using the series. So this is the final outfield hairstyle that we've got. We've got one more little step to do on these outfield players before they are finished, but what we're going to do now is head back over into our goalkeeper to show you guys how to paint his hair too. And because we've got the matte 33 out, we're going to do him in matte 33, but you guys could use whatever color you want. Okay, the goalkeeper, here he is. This is the hardest part of today's episode, is sorting this goalkeeper's hair out, because those arms are a nightmare, an absolute nightmare to get round. So I've gone with quite a small brush setup for the bits between the arms. I just want to make sure I stay as far clear of them as I can, because I don't really, if you've got a black goalkeeper's kit, you are laughing right now. You'll be like, ha, this is easy. I ain't got to worry about getting it on his sleeves because his sleeves are black. If you've got a yellow one or a green one, you're now finding yourself in a little town called Strugglesville along with me. Because this is, it doesn't matter how many times I do these, they're such a pain because the arms do just get in the way. Now there is a massive risk that you will get paint on his arms, but I think I've managed to avoid it. I'm not out of the woods yet. Don't want to get overconfident, but I'm feeling good about it. I'm feeling like I might just have got there, you know. Might just have done it. I'm not going to celebrate yet. Not going to celebrate yet. It could all still go wrong. You'll notice I'm taking a lot more time and care over this goalkeeper's head. There you go. Look, I touched. I knew that I would. It's okay though. I can cover that up. I'm not overly worried. I knew that I would. I knew that I'd touch. It's only a tiny little bit as well. I knew I see. I know part of me was getting a little bit complacent, but yeah. So take your time with the goalkeeper's head. It's so easy to contact on his arms. Right. So there is our goalkeeper's head done. What I'm going to do very, very quickly is just get my green back out and show you how easy it is to cover that up. So I'm just going to jump cut to getting my green ready. Okay, so my green is ready. All I need to do is just cover up that tiny ball of black. You guys might not even noticed it, but there you go, it's gone. But while I've got this out, I've just got a couple of little areas here where my green is a little bit, not faded, but a little bit washed out, where it's not quite as thick as others. So I'm just going to go around whilst I've got the green here. You don't have to do this. You could get away with leaving it and it would still look really good because it adds a little bit of depth and colour shift, but I'm going for a full solid colour on mine. So I'm just going to fill him in real quick with some more green paint just to cover those little layers up. There you go, simple as that. That there is our goalkeeper done. So that is, in terms of filling in white space on these figures, that is the end of this bit. We've got one more step to go round. The last bit, the final piece. You guys may not even have to do this, but we've got one final step to do. Let's roll it. Final step is touch-ups. Now, there's not many touch-ups to do on these players, but I've got a couple of areas, and I mentioned it right at the start of the series. I'm a head holder, so the chances are that I am going to take paint off of these figures as I'm painting them. But now they're all happily back in their bases, all I'm going to do is just real quickly just touch up those little skin areas that we messed up
as we were working on them. So that's all we're going to do. Just really, really quickly, just going to go around those areas to just clean them up, make them nice, fill them in. Happy days. The reason I've got the third figure over here, which I'm going to show you guys in a minute, this guy does not need a lot of touching up, to be fair. They don't all need it. Like I say, you guys may not need to even bother with this step because you may have figures that haven't had any little knocks or dings out of them. However, the reason I brought this guy over is because when I painted him, it was a little bit of a rush job, and his skin is actually got a shine to it. Now that happens because I didn't mix the paint properly. So what I'm going to do now is just put another little thin layer of skin tone over the top of the skin tone that he already has. I wouldn't usually recommend leaving this till the last minute, but that's exactly what I've done. So what we're going to do is just go over his skin tone once again, just to take away that shine, and hopefully, if I remember, I will put up an image of this paint when it's dry, because obviously right now it's going to be shiny because I've just painted it. But yeah, so if you do ever get paint, especially matte paint that shouldn't be shiny, okay, it should be a matte finish. If it's ever not, in fact this guy needs a little touch up on his shorts there as well, so we'll get that out. You might find there's some areas on your kits as well that just need touching up. But what we're going to do is just go around this guy's skin just to fill it in. So if you've ever got a paint, especially if it's a matte enamel paint and it's got that, it's gone on and it's dry and it's still a little bit shiny, it just means that the matting agent wasn't quite mixed in to the paint pigment enough. And you're just going to have to get it back out. You're going to have to give it a really, really good stir, and then you're going to have to reapply that paint back on. Now obviously here, I can't grab his head because I've just painted his head in black for his hair, and I've just painted his face back up. So this time I'm going to have to clean his skin line up by holding him by the base, which is not an easy thing to do, which is why I don't usually do it, which is why I am a head holder. But that's all I need to do. So little lesson, little tip, hopefully for you guys, if you've got skin or any other paint that's gone on, if it's matte enamel and it hasn't dried in a real flat matte finish, it's just because the matting agent was separated from the paint itself. It can happen. Usually you'll find it in the looser paints. So if you've got a paint that's really runny, as we mentioned in the previous episode, keep it moving, keep it well mixed. So we've gone over that guy. He needs a little bit of a black touch up as well. So off camera I'll do that, but it's nice and simple. It's exactly the same as the other touch ups we're going to be doing. I'll do that at the end. So let's just run through the rest of the skin tone touch ups in the different colours. So this one here that we've just done was our matte 98 touch up. So let's get the next colour out. Cool, so the next colour we're going to come on to is our matte 61. And that, once again, it's only tiny little areas that need the extra paint added on. You don't want a thick layer, you don't want much of a layer, you really don't need a lot. Just a case of just checking your figures over, having a little look, getting a tiny bit of paint on there and just putting it back on in and around those areas where it's not gone on as clear and nice as you want it to, or because like me, you've been holding their heads and you've cleared it off and you just knocked and dinged that paint. A question undoubtedly I'm going to get asked as a result of this video, although I usually do, is do I use varnish or should you guys varnish these players? Question has sort of two parts. The first one is, do I use varnish? And the simple answer to that is no, I don't. I never do. I have tried, I have used it once before. I hated it. I didn't like the finish. I thought it ruined what we'd created, and it doesn't matter for me whether it says it's a matte varnish, it will never finish in matte. It always has a little bit of a sheen, of a luster to the paint, and I don't want that. I don't want that look on my figures. I like a matte finish. So the simple answer is, do I use it? No. Should you guys use it? That's entirely up to you. Will it help protect the paint that you've put on through playwear and things like this? Yeah, of course it will, 100%. That's exactly what it will do. It just depends on whether you want that aesthetic appearance or not. And me personally, no, I don't. And I also don't mind if my figures get play worn. I don't care. Play wear them out. I'm not bothered. Just have a little look at our keeper while we've got this colour out. I think he's okay, to be fair. Yeah, keeper doesn't need any skin touch-ups, so he's happy. But yeah, so I don't use varnish. Should you guys use varnish? It's entirely up to you. Depends what you want to do. Personally, I don't like the way it finishes aesthetically. I don't like the finish that it produces, so I don't use it. But yeah, it will offer protection to your paint and stop things like what we're touching up now happening again, because when you get these figures in and out of the box, you're going to be grabbing their heads, touching their paint, and eventually over time you will rub that off. So we're going to go on to our final colour for touch up, 2, 3, 4. Here we go then, our final colour for touch up. And just to finish off what we were saying there, a lot of those decisions are entirely yours in terms of whether you want to varnish or not. It all depends on what finish you want to have. I like a fully matte finish, and as I said, like, there's something about original Subbuteo players that are play worn that I like. I know some people prefer mint condition, steel sealed, etc, etc, and then they'll never use them. But for me, if you're creating a team, like, play with it, use it. That's what it was there for. Like, I've got Subbuteo heavyweight teams that are potentially people would question why I'm using them. You know, they're expensive, etc, etc. What if you this? What if you that? What if you wear the paint out? What if you break one? If I break one, I break one. If I put a bit of playwear on it, I put a bit of playwear on it. For me, part of the reason for painting Subbuteo teams and buying Subbuteo teams is to play with them. That's what they were created for. I think it's sad when there's teams out there that have never been used. They're like over 50, 60 years old, and they've never been out of a box. They've never felt the bays underneath them. They've never felt the contact onto a free panel FF, which we've already discovered is the best ball Subbuteo ever made. They've never been out on that classic 50s, 60s, 70s bays or cotton pitch. They've never felt it. They've never felt it. And you've got to feel for them. You've got to feel for those lads. So I don't like it. That's it. Touch-ups are done. Okay, the final stage that we're going to do with this team is we're going to put some weight in them, we're going to put some glue in them. The glue that I use is Loctite Precision Super Glue. I've just found it's the best stuff. Very, very watery though, so you have to be super careful not to over apply. Let's just move this beautiful little number out of the way. And what we're going to weight our figures with is blue tack. Now, really important that you guys wait till your figures are dry before taking them out. But what I need to do is I need to just detach my figures right. Now the first stage of what we're going to do here is just get a little bit of blue tack, and all I want to do is all I'm looking to do is what I've done here, and just fill up the inside of the washer. So there's 2 done. Just adds just enough weight and a bit more of a solid finish to the team, and that's what I want to have. As I said, I like my Subbuteo teams to be the heavyweight weight rather than lightweight. If you use lightweights normally, then this might be the weight for you, but it's not for me. So if you don't want to weight your figures, then you can just skip this stage to the next point where we'll go on to gluing. But yeah, so all you want to do is just try and make it as level as possible with that washer. Trying to make it as central as possible as well, which is why we fill the whole space up. That way, in theory, the weight we've added should be even across the base and not cause the figure to be unbalanced. This guy just needs a little bit more over here. So they want to be as equal as possible, because you don't want your figure wobbling around like a weeble because you put your weight in the wrong place, because we are going to be gluing these in, and I am telling you now, without breaking them, you are not getting these guys apart. So be very, very careful. Be, you know, pretty precise. Make sure you're happy with the weight before you do it. If you wanted to, you could even get a pair of weighing scales out to try and match them up perfectly. I'm not going to do that because I'm not that bothered. I've done this quite a lot of times before. I know that I'm happy with how this is going to be weighted. So I've now got all my bases. Oh, that one stuck to me. I've now got all my bases with some blue tack in them there. So all I'm going to do is just quickly put some of this precision glue on top of my blue tack, because I don't want that coming out. I don't want it going anywhere. Oh, I'm stuck to it. I don't want that blue tack coming out. I don't want it popping out and getting free. So I'm basically, what I'm doing here is super gluing my blue tack in, because I don't want that going anywhere. So that's what I've got there. I don't need to touch these again at the moment. I'm not really that bothered. What I am going to show you, let's just move these bases out the way. Obviously, it goes without saying, use this stuff in a ventilated space. Obviously, it has got fumes and things behind it, so make sure you're safe in and around where you are as you're doing it. And what we're going to come on to next is gluing our discs into our bases. That's going to be our next step. So let's realize while I was editing the video that you guys couldn't actually see how I was applying the paint to the discs and the figures, so I figured I would show you guys how I do it. Again, with our spare figures, it's just as well we've got these, really, isn't it? So when it comes to our bases, as I said in the video, there is a ridge line inside there that you can see that the disc sits in, and all you want to do with that is just put a little sort of triangle setup of glue into it there, which you can just about see. And in terms of weighting, if the figures are down there, all I'm looking to do is just to try, I don't want to super glue my fingers now because I've put glue in it like an idiot, just try and fill that space up there, and do exactly the same on the other side here, except this one hasn't got glue in, so it's a lot easier. So there we have those, and then again, all I'm going to do is a little bit of glue along that ridge line. Oh, hello, he's stuck on there. Throw your disc on top, press him in like so, and then with our figures, what we want to do is just run a little bit of glue along the back there. Hopefully you guys can see that, and then I take the second player and we just spread it across both. You can spread across the front if you want to. I don't in the video because I don't usually do it. And then just very simply push your figures down into their bases, and then you now have two absolutely solid figures that you are never going to get apart. So let's just cut back into me time-lapsing through them figures getting done, because you can't actually see what I'm doing. So let's go. Is 3 little pinpoints on each, and I'm going to work quite quickly because this stuff does dry quite quickly. So we're going just for a sort of triangle setup in there every single time. As I said, be super careful with the glue. The other thing you don't want to do is get this stuff on your hands, because it will stick. That's what it does. It does stick skin together. We've all seen the comedy sketches where somebody gets super glued. I've been super glued many times doing stuff like this. Usually when I'm making sort of the real custom figures, similar to the 5000:1 frames, where I'm cutting arms and legs off and I'm doing it that way. So there we go, got a couple more to do. Just got to make sure that the glue is on that ridge line. What you don't want to do is use too much here, because what will happen is it will come out over the top between the disc and the base. Again, just going to get my glue out of the way, and all we're going to do is just pop our discs into there. I've got a couple of little bits there where it's kind of come over the edge, but that's okay. We can deal with that. Nearly got super glued to that one. So all we're doing, we're just gluing now our discs into here. Now these, they're not coming out now, so they're weighted, and now the discs and the bases are glued together. These are not coming apart. Not in a month of Sundays are you getting these guys apart. The old hot water trick will not work on these little bad boys that we've used on the classic heavies. So now we've got our bases and our discs glued together, what we want to do is get our figures glued into our bases and our discs. So just going to move these guys up here. I still want them in shot, so I just need to check that they are in shot for you guys. So here they go. Now we're going to just bring our figures over again. Want to be careful, I don't want to overhandle these figures if I can get away with it. So again, that, ladies and gentlemen, is how we weight and glue our Santiago figures from the Painting Academy. Happy days. We're now going to come on to the final step of this series, and that is to attach your custom sticker to your box. Okay, so I've mentioned before in the series that I was going to show you how these guys work. Now, these all come on a single sheet and they're all pre-cut, but I want them to be a little bit smaller than this. So I need to cut out every individual piece on here using the craft knife. I've got a ruler and a cutting mat to do this with, because I need them to be smaller, because the way that I stick my stickers on is, I don't know, it's just the way that I do it. So I don't know if it's easier than the normal way. This might be the normal way. I've never seen anyone else do this. I've just kind of worked it out for myself. So all we're going to do is just roughly cut out these stickers so that they are a little bit smaller and easier for me to work with. So I'm going to take this top one off through here. Get that off of there. I'm going to trim that down a little bit smaller in a minute. And let's take this next one off down here. For this, now I don't have many boxes with these labels on. Usually I tend to make my own, but for this series I was sent one of these, and these are the proper ones. So let's give these a bash. Cut that one off there. Tell you what, I came pretty close to cutting the actual sticker there because my ruler slipped, so that would have been bad. So yeah, be careful when you're doing this. Obviously you don't want to actually cut the piece you're going to use. So I've got my box top bit here, that's fine. I just need to trim a little bit more off of this area. All I'm doing is I'm just using the outline of the colour print as my sort of baseline, because it gives me a bit of a border from the actual sticker, but it also helps me to get that sizing in the right place. I've got one of those. Just quickly go through. That is so close. I might have even clipped the end of it, but as I say, I'm not overly bothered. Hopefully you guys don't make the same mistake as me. So let's get that one out of the way. Like I said, I don't know if this is the proper way of doing it. I'm just showing you guys how I do these. And like I say, I usually do my own stickers. Usually make and print my own. So
Let's just get this last guy off of here. And what I'm probably going to do as well, once I've trimmed this excess off, is especially for that top one, I'm probably going to go in right along where the sticker pre-cut is. So I'll show you guys on this one. Obviously, once you're going along that pre-cut line for the sticker, you're going to have to be really, really careful. So, tell you what, I'm going to do that quickly now. So I've trimmed most of the excess off, and now I'm coming right in onto where the pre-cut is for the sticker. Now the reason I'm doing that is because I want these to be the exact size I need them to be. Obviously this helps if you've got a nice sharp knife. Come across through there. I've got a little bit of excess on the top there, but that's fine. So what I'm going to do really, really quickly is just off camera, I'm going to blast through all of these, cutting off that excess, and then we'll bring you guys back in for when we're going to start putting them onto there. So there you got it, got the box in here. We've got all of our stickers individually cut out here. On these two end long ones, what I've done is I've just left a tiny bit of one of the ends on to use as sort of a basis to peel the back off. For the others, these ones in here are fully cut, and you can see here all of our off-cut pieces. So let's bring you guys in and get these on. All right, so here we are. And the first sticker I always put on my boxes is the top label, and this is why I don't take off my stickers all in one go, because what I want to do is I want to line it up so that I'm looking at where it's going to come out. Okay, because what I'm going to do is just get a little visual. I'm just trying to get it as straight, as square as possible. Now that looks okay, yeah? So now what I'm going to do, because I've not left myself any peeling space on this one, I'm going to need to get a little bit of the backer off. Now for this, I use my craft knife again. Hopefully I can get just in between the two layers, so the sticker and the backer. Okay, and what I do, I peel all the way along there, and I just give it a little fold over there. So I've now only got a small little piece of the sticker showing up, and because it's been folded, you'll notice that it just kicks it up off the box, so it's not going to stick until I want it to. So I'm going to come around again, try and get it lined up exactly where I want it to be as best as we can. Looking at it, it's probably not going to be perfect, but I'm not overly bothered about it being 100% perfect. And then what I do is I stick that piece down that I had before. So you'll see now that bit's stuck on, the rest of it is not. Make sure it's nice and smooth, and then what I do is I just flip my sticker up. I get hold of my tab here that's got the backer on it. Okay, trying to do this so you guys can see it, and I gently pull it away, and as I'm pulling it away, I smooth my sticker down as I'm moving. Okay, going laterally across to try and make sure I don't get any bubbles in it. It should stay straight because it should be lined up. Like I say, I don't think this is going to be perfect, but as I'm slowly pulling it away, just going to keep running my finger across to make sure we're getting a nice smooth finish. And then all I do, take the backer I already had and just give it a nice wipe over. The reason I use the backer is because it doesn't matter how clean I think my hands are, they'll guaranteed to be something on it. Look, I've got black marks on my hands and all sorts, and I don't want that transferring on, and I know the backer is clean. I've literally just exposed it, so I just run across there, and now we've got ourselves a lovely box top sticker for our team. So the principle is exactly the same for all the others, although a little bit harder when you're working on trying to do it like this. Obviously you guys can't see that, but trying to work on the end stickers, the side stickers are a little bit easier. So we're going to go with the end stickers first. The principle is exactly the same, but I'm just going to need to move the old camera quickly to get you guys in a position where you can see.
Right, welcome back. I think you'll agree we've now got our super high-tech setup with our brand new 2021 Signature V1. And this is the first edition we've got, and you'll notice there's a cheeky little Feyenoord on there, so that's pretty cool. This one has got loads and loads of different kits on it, actually. Got some Newell's Old Boys, we've got some Boa Vista, some classic black ball, the Pescara Rainbow, Pumas, Villarreal, Werder Bremen, Leicester City, obviously, Juventus, classic Betis 1995, Penarol, Mönchengladbach. So a really cool piece available. Also, while I'm here, also available in a lovely little green there. So these are available now if you want to get yourselves one. For guys who watch this video, these are going to be available for $9.99 plus delivery. So let me guys know if you want to get one of these. But that's not what we're here for. We are here to get our sticker on. Now, this one, if I just spin this around, is for the top of the box. So you do not want the sticker this way. You want to always flip it so that it reads this way. Easy. Awesome. Now again, the principle for this sticker going on is exactly the same as the last one. I leave the backer all the way on, get a little visual about where I want to have it. I want to get a little bit of this sticker just separated off exactly the same way as we did for the top. Okay, so we're going to come down and get ourselves set up here, and it's pretty much exactly the same as what we did on the last one. Get it in there, get that little end smoothed on, pull up, gently pull it away. Usually I wouldn't do this in between two mugs, I'll be honest with you. Usually I put it between my legs, but I figured you didn't want to see a close-up shot of me with a Subbuteo box between my legs, so I didn't do it that way. So there's that one. I'm just going to quickly flip this box over and do exactly the same. Again, making sure that our sticker reads so that if the box is the right way up, it reads the right way. So very simple. Once again, in we go here. I know you guys can't see this. Do you know what? Let's try and get it so you can see it. In here, just trying to separate a little bit of that sticker from the backer. In there again, place it on, get it kind of where we want it to be, apply a little bit of pressure to stick that on, flip up, grab your tab, and as you're pulling it away, just run a cheeky little finger over top, get the backer, smooth over. Nice and easy. Let's give you guys one more move, and we're going to flip it over, and we're going to do the side piece there. Okay, so with this sticker here, obviously again you want it to read so that when the box is the right way up, we've got our writing in the right place. Now, we were a little bit more switched on when we prepared this sticker, and as I remember saying to you guys earlier in the video, I left myself a little peely tab, so that's quite useful. But again, we're just going to have a look at where we want it to be. Now, this bit of sticker here should in theory be the same length as our top sticker, so that will give you a rough idea of where you want your outside edges to go, and then it's just about trying to get this bit as square with the box as possible. So I'm just going to get that little bit of peel that we had from before, I'm going to fold that little corner back and get a little bit closer so that we can get this hopefully pretty much 100% nice and square, nice and straight. But I've committed now, so if it's not straight, we're in trouble, aren't we? And once again, lift as we're putting it away, just a gentle little smoothing down of the old sticker all the way to the end, backer on top, run it all the way over, and now we are getting ourselves a lovely looking little box. Just got one sticker to go. So back he goes into the mug clamp. Once again, sticker, making sure it reads the correct way up. Give yourselves a little fold in here so that we now have the ability, once we've got it where we want it, to just straight away stick that bad boy down, making sure it's as square as we can get it visually. I mean, you could get really, really technical with this and start bashing out spirit levels. Hello, I've pushed too early there. So you can make mistakes. The advantage of doing it this way, you don't push too hard, comes off. So that's another reason why we don't go for the full sticker all at once, because that would never have come off. So if you were thinking about during this video, why do you do it like that? A couple of reasons. One is because it makes it easier for us to get it where we want it. Number two, if you do accidentally make a little mistake, if you're not pressing too hard, you can peel that little bit of end sticker off and then reposition. If I had this all as one sticker and I put it down too early, or not exactly where I wanted it, I'd be in serious bother because I wouldn't be able to get it off. So there we go. We are going to just flip this up, grab our little tab, run our finger along as we release the tab from the back all the way down, get the tab we've just pulled off and run it across the top there. And if we remove now the mug clamp, you will see we have now got a lovely fully printed customized box. Now we do have, like I said to you earlier on, we do actually have our own versions of similar labels. This one is for a team we've just finished. This is a Westwood Table Soccer exclusives. They're not as glossy as these bad boys, more of a matte finish, but they're based on that classic 1950s, 60s box design, which I absolutely love. So I'm thinking about maybe making these available to you guys. So if you want me to get some of these printed up, obviously with the Feyenoord badge, and it will say Feyenoord on it, and we'll maybe change something in here to make it say that it was a Painting Academy team, then we could maybe do that for you guys. So there is a couple of options available. As I said, classic design we've got here, and the Westwood Table Soccer exclusive design. As I said, it's not shiny, it's home printed, so probably, I'll be honest, probably not as nice a quality as this, or as good quality in terms of the ink they've used, but I think these are cool. This is what I do all of my teams in now, and we will make it through there. And what I might also do, in fact, I'll tell you what I will do, if you do want one of these, we will put your name on it somewhere as well. We'll make a little space, a little customizable area, maybe somewhere just in around here where it will say who painted the team. So there's a couple of options. That's how you put your stickers on. Those are a couple of options. You've got these ones, the proper ones, available from Subbuteo World. These are quality. I can't argue with these. I can't knock them. They are lovely. I know my old man's got a lot of these, and a lot of people use these. But I'm a big fan of the old vintage style. As I said, these are Westwood Table Soccer custom ones, and I've actually got it so that this is all one piece. And I'm trying to work out a way where I can make all this whole sticker one big X piece to sit down, so it'll cover the whole thing. Lovely little label on the bottom. But yes, if you guys want to get one of these, get yourselves down in the comments below and say hashtag Westwood Table Soccer custom box, and then if we get enough response to that, then get in contact with me and we'll try and get these organized. But that's how you do your box. So let's how good do they look? They look so good. I'm so pleased with them, and I know that your guys are going to look awesome too. Don't forget to send them to me on our Twitter, through our Facebook, directly to my email, contact us directly through the website, and please, please, please don't forget to send them to Santiago as well.